Ms. Mahtab, please start.
Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Mahtab Keramati, skill development and also a human resource fellow at Women Ascension. And I'm happy to welcome you all to today's cybersecurity webinar hosted by Women Ascension. Thank you everyone for joining us. At Women Ascension, our mission is to empower women and girls to create positive change in their communities. Through Women Ascension skill development, we provide crucial training on professional and personal development, capacity building, entrepreneurship, and leadership, ensuring that women have the skill they need to thrive. Our efforts align with key sustainable development goals, including SDG 4, quality education, SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. So today's webinar on cybersecurity is an essential part of this mission, as digital security plays a crucial role in professional success and personal safety. Whether it's protecting sensitive data, securing online transaction, or ensuring safe communication, cybersecurity impacts every aspect of our lives. So now, before we dive in, let me ask you this. How often do you think about your digital security? So imagine waking up one morning and you realize that your email has been hacked or your bank account compromised. So these are really terrifying thoughts, isn't it? So unfortunately, these threats are very real and they're becoming more sophisticated every day. But the good news is here that with the right knowledge and tools, we can protect ourselves from cyber risk, and that's exactly what we'll focus on today. In the world where cybersecurity threats are constantly evolving, it's more important than ever to ensure our personal data and devices, from mobile phones and social media accounts to home Wi-Fi networks. Every digital box can be a potential risk if not properly secured. So today we'll discuss essential cybersecurity practices, including the importance of device security, how to protect sensitive personal data, how encryption and software updates help minimize risks, and also the role of home Wi-Fi security in preventing cyber attacks. So we'll start the lesson with we'll start the conversation with a detailed presentation on cybersecurity essential. And also after that, we will have the Q&A session. So feel free to ask your questions in the chat, or you can quietly raise your hand and ask your questions. So to guide us through this crucial discussion, we are honored to welcome our estimated speaker, Mr. Nasrarullah Zarif, a cybersecurity expert with extensive experience in IT security and digital protection strategies. His expertise include biometric security systems, encryption technologies, software security, and risk management. Mr. Nasrarullah Zarif has worked on evolution cybersecurity solution and contributed to strengthening digital safety in Afghanistan. His deep knowledge in data security, encryption, and online protection makes him the perfect speaker for today's session. So thank you so much, Mr. Nasrarullah Zarif, for joining us today. Now the virtual floor is yours. Please start.
Thank you so much, Ms. Keramati, for your kind words. And a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, dear participants. I'm so glad that I'm having you guys here now in this session, and I'm so much happy that I am sharing my knowledge with you guys. As Ms. Keramati has explained each and everything about the importance and essentials of cybersecurity in today's world. And it is so much important because I am sure, if before we start the session, if I get a survey of all the participants who are here in this session, if I get a survey, I am sure that more than 80% of our personal life and as well as our professional life, mean our offices, stuff and all the stuff that we are doing officially, I am sure more than 80% of our personal life and official lives are correlated to this digital devices. I am very much sure, and you guys might be agree with me on this point. So now for this reason, it is very much important. I know, and we are all accepting that Technology has facilitated our life and it's paved the ground for us in each and every field. Even if you're starting it from agriculture and ending it on AI and artificial intelligence, all the facilities which are provided by IT, they are countless. But beside, we should take care of some of the points that are the cyber threats. And there are some misunderstandings, misusages, and as well as the lack of knowledge that we are having, and we are using all these devices in our daily lives. So remember, guys, whenever I'm talking about the daily lives, I mean both the private lives that we are having, the personal lives, and as well as the professional lives. If you are working in the organizations, offices, or whatsoever, if you're having our own personal businesses. So it is very much important that we should take care of all these points. I know that these sessions, even in months and months, we cannot cover them, but at the very beginning, the fundamentals and the most essential points which will be covered in these topics. If you guys fully be ahead of it and you guys attend the session till the end of the time which is given to me till the end of these PPT PowerPoint slides, I'm very much sure that 50% of our problems will be solved. So thank you so much for the directors of such programs that they have provided. And I'm so much glad that in such country where it is so much vulnerable, we are having such supporters that they are supporting our youths, that they should know about the cybersecurity threats and about the proper mitigation, that how we can solve all these problems. So thank you so much, guys. I hope everyone is in the call. And if I'm giving a go ahead, I can go ahead with my sessions. The contents, as Ms. Keramati has already cover these points, I will be just going through it once. We will understand the importance of device security, guys. The devices that we are using. I mean the devices which we are using for our personal lives and as well as for our professional lives. Starting it from the PCs, means personal computers, starting it from the cell phones, which I am sure that 80% of our life is now correlated to this device that is called mobile phone or cell phone. And this is one of the huge facilitator in our life, which have facilitated all such facilities that they are countless, and we cannot even ignore all those facilities. But beside, we should know about the essential, about the importance of security of all such devices. The second point, we will be talking about how we can protect our devices from cyber threats. There are so many malicious co-workers who are just in search of finding such gaps in our systems, and somehow or the other they are just trying to access our devices and misuse it. So for God forbid, if we do not take care of the security measures in these devices, it is possible that they will be capable of accessing to our personal data and misusing it. The third point, we will talk about the safeguarding of sensitive information. We are using the social medias, we are using so many other platforms for communicating and being in touch with our friends, with our colleagues, with our managers, GMs, and CEOs, and all these others. But how we should be creating a tunnel which is secure, and how we will be transferring our data, how the communication will happen securely, all these points will be covered inshallah. The next point is how we can minimize the risk. Guys, whenever I'm talking about the minimize, it means those companies which are providing the ISO standard certificates, even they cannot guarantee that our company is completely secure. No, guys. Never ever we can say that, yes, my system, my device, my network, my application, my device, or whatsoever technology facility that I'm using, they are 100% secure. No, it is not possible, because technology is growing. You guys, if I tell you, and I was researching on a point, that in each and every second in the world of technology, there is an improvement. Each and every day, something new is being invented. So whenever there are such huge improvement in such facilities, beside there is an improvement in the tweets also. There are some gaps, there are some points which will be later on known to the owner of the system or the application, that this problem is there in my system and what will be the solution. So now in this session, inshallah, we will come to know that how we can minimize the risk. How we will do it? We will be using the encryption algorithms that we are having. We will be using the updated softwares. One of the major problem that we are having is our laziness. What is the laziness? We are not updating the systems. Why we are not doing it? Because maybe we will be just looking for how it will take time. It will spend so much of my phone's memory, my data bundle, and all this stuff. But in today's session, I'm sure if you guys come to know about the negative impacts of not updating the system. I'm sure you guys will be regularly updating your systems and devices. We will talk about this in brief, inshallah. And the last point will be, inshallah, about the home Wi-Fi. I am sure that most of the people all over the world, not only in Afghanistan, not only in other South Asia countries, all over the world, there are the facilities in the offices, in the homes that we are using the Wi-Fi routers. And I'm sure in most of the families, we are having some of the people who are not aware of these streets. But in today's session, if you guys come to know and share this knowledge with your family members, with your relatives, with your friends, with your colleagues, that how securely we should use this facility of internet or this technology word, I am sure we can minimize the risk. So the last point that we will be discussing is how we can secure our home Wi-Fi. So these are all the contents, my dear friends, that we will be covering it. So the outcome and the object of this session will be, we will understand the importance of device security, the applications, the softwares, or devices that we are using, the home Wi-Fi security routers that we are using it nowadays in our homes, how we can secure them. And inshallah, at the end of the session, we will come to know that how we can secure our personal devices. So we'll be mostly focusing on these devices that we are using it for our daily purposes, if that is professional life or that is personal life. So these will be all the topics, and I briefly give you an introduction, but now we will be going so much deep into all these topics one by one. So let's start it up, guys. Let me just talk about the importance of device security. Dear members, I just want to mention one point. These slides are just for intervention. I can say that it's just giving me a hint that which topic I will be covering, but definitely these contents are not enough for delivering my speeches and importance of this technology word. So what I will be doing, I will be just giving more information. I will be very friendly. I just don't want to be stuck on these paragraphs in the slides. So I will be giving you the real life examples. I will be giving you all the possible experience that I have been gone through this career of me in the field of cybersecurity. So I will make sure that we will be having a very friendly environment. I will be giving you a full time that you guys can ask me questions. We are already in touch in LinkedIn. I'm sure we are having a WhatsApp group. And be careful. And this is my advice, guys. I'm so much happy if you guys, or God forbid, if you are facing with any problem, feel free to be in touch with me. Share the problems or your experiences with me. Definitely, together we will solve all those problems. So I hope we can build a very friendly environment, and we will always be in touch. This is not only a first day session that I will be giving. Definitely, we will be in touch to all the social media accounts that we are having. So I don't want to talk so much about it. So let's start it up with the importance of device security. Okay, guys. Let's talk about the facility of these devices that we are using in our daily lives. We are that much stuck to these devices, I am sure. Let me give you an example. Today morning, I was coming to my office, but just whenever I reached to the gate of the office, I have remembered that, oh, I have forgot my cell phone at home. Let's assume if you were me and if you are facing with the same scenario, and I'm sure all of you might have gone through this experience. I will definitely go back to home and take my self device and came back to office. Isn't it? I'm sure you guys are agree with me, right? So now let's see that how much we are addicted to these devices. We can see that we are having so much personal data in our devices, cell phones or mobiles or tablets that we are using, right? So much personal of data, so much personal of communication that we are having. For example, I'm working in a very critical, this is just an example, guys, whatever I'm saying is just an example. Just assume that I'm working in finance department and I'm just reporting and I'm just saving and I'm just storing too much of confidential reports. There are some reports that even I don't want my colleagues, the colleagues of other departments, to be known as this information. They are stored in my cell phone about personal videos, images, and all other chats that we are having, right? So this is so much important for us because now we are so much addicted and we have completely stuck to these devices. So it is very much important, guys, that we should take care of the security measures of our devices so that unauthorized people should not be capable of accessing my personal data. So that is why it is so much important that we should take care of these points whenever we are coming to the usage and the belief that we are having on the word of technology. All right. So the first point that I am focusing on is protecting of sensitive data. As I have mentioned before, guys, I am sure I have my cell phone. I have so much personal data in my cell phone, in my this device, which is 24 by 7 just near to me. I am still sure in this session that you are, I am sure in each and every 5 minutes, you will be looking at your device. Oh, a message at him. Oh, who have called me? Oh, I just want to look at my phone, because this is an addiction that we are having to these devices. So now, all those sensitive data that we are having in our cell phones, keeping it secure is a most important point that we should be taking care of. All right. In most of the other countries, I'm sure we are having the online banking systems. I'm just ordering something and just paying the money. But if someone is having access to my bank accounts and my passwords, they can misuse it. All those money that I have gained, they can definitely use it for their own benefits. But if I'm applying all these security measures, I'm sure at least I can minimize the risk of unauthorized access to my personal data. So it is very much important, the very first point, because we are so much stuck and we are so much correlated to these devices, and we are having so much of our personal data in these devices, so keeping it secure for protecting our sensitive data is the most valuable point that we should be taking care of. The next point is safeguarding privacy. So let's talk. We are working in a same organization. Each and every department is having their own confidential data that they will be keeping it very much secure, right? So now how I will ensure that my data is secure and unauthorized people cannot access to my data. So now you guys can see in this image, right? So there is a policeman or a traffic or whoever. It's an army guy who is a guard, which is always there in our gates, right? Whoever is entering to the office premises, they are checking all those policy assured stuff that is given to them. For example, they will be checking the ID cards. If I'm not having an ID card, they will be asking for the purpose. Why you want to visit the office? Okay, I have some works in finance department. Okay, who have called you? For example, Khadija had called me. Okay, please call her so that she can come here. She will just give us an assurance that yes, I have called this guy and we are having some stuff with him. So then they will be letting me to come inside the environment. The same is for our devices. We are having applications. We are having some measures that we should be applying it before storing all such sensitive data or confidential data to our devices. So we should be taking care of all these devices, which all points are there. There are so many important points that we should be taking care of it, right? So these points are so much important that they will be covered, inshallah, in the next slides, that we should be taking care of them if we want to ensure the safeguarding of our privacy, right?
Over. I'm going to send you a separate link for your session, okay?
Okay, I think someone's mic is on. If I will give you enough time so that we can have a discussion of question and answers. So I hope you guys note down your questions, and then I will be giving you time, guys. Okay. Okay. The next point is maintaining trust. Okay, guys. Let me give you another example. I have my LinkedIn profile, right? So you guys are in touch with me through my profile. For God, if someone access to my LinkedIn profile and they misuse it, I mean, they send or they post something illegal, or we can say something opposite to my character or personality, I am definitely sure it will be directly impacting my actual personality. Guys, these social accounts that we are using, right? We are using LinkedIn, we are using Facebook, Instagram, and so many other applications. They are our virtual personality. If for God forbid they are impacted, they will directly impact our actual personality as well. So now it is so much important, guys. Let me give you an entertaining example, guys. We will make this session in a way that should be not be forced for someone that they should just mechanically remember the words. All right, so I will be giving you the examples. For example, just let's assume there is a relation of, means, for example, someone want to marry to someone, right? For example, he is in another country, but their family is giving to the lady's family, and they are just asking for the relation that my son, he is Filani, and he's having such experience. He's working in this place and that. We want to have a relation with your family. So because physically that person is not available here, so what we are doing most of the time in today's world, we are giving them their social media accounts, for example, Instagram or Facebook, right? So what that other opposite family is doing, they are going and taking their profiles. For God bid, if someone is having unauthorized access to your profile and they are posting some illegal stuff, will this not impact your actual personality? I am sure it will, right, guys? So that is why it is so much important. If you want to build a trust, if you don't want to be impacted on your actual personality, so it is so much important that we should take care of security of our virtual personality as well. So these are all the points which are important, right, guys? So whenever I was in India, we had many cases. In most of the cases, there were ladies that they have suicided. Why? Because someone had unauthorized access to their accounts and they have misused that account. And that was that lady or whoever that person was that was so much disappointed. He or she was affected so badly that he or she had no other ways rather than suiciding. Look, guys, even this one can impact our lives also. So why we should not take care of all these security measures? So that we should be personally and officially in a safe area and we can use the facility of all this technology world. The next point is, guys, preventing unauthorized access. As I told you guys before, if we are not applying proper measures of security on our devices, not only devices, let's talk about the other accounts also that we are having, the social accounts. If you are not obeying all those security rules and regulations on our devices and accounts, be so much cautious about this point, guys, that anyone can access to your accounts. Hacking of the Facebook in 2010 was so much easy, so much simple. Why? Because those people who were accessing their Facebook through web browsers, those browsers were using insecure protocols. For example, HTTP. HTTP, all those participants who are from technology field, I'm sure they will know about HTTP. HTTP is a hypertext transfer protocol, which is used for transferring the data from end user to the servers. Whenever they were using all those insecure websites, they were just entering their username and password. All those username and passwords, mean credentials, were clearly shown in the URL path. And the person was capable of just capturing their username and password, logging into their accounts, and for God forbid, they were misusing all those personal accounts of other people. So now, to prevent unauthorized access to our devices, there are some measures, there are some regulations that we should be taking care of it so that anyone should not be able to access to my device or profiles. What are all those measures? Don't worry about it, guys. We will talk about it. Now we are just talking about the risks, and then we will talk about the mitigation, that how these problems can be mitigated. Another point is data loss prevention. Let's assume, guys, I'm giving you another example. You are having your cell phone in your pockets, or it will be, I'm sure they are just right behind you, right? Or in front of you. Your cell phones are there. Or most of you guys might be using the cell phones for attending the session, right? What if today, half an hour before the session started, for God forbid, your device was stolen, right? Or your device was hacked. It means you have lost the chance of attending to this session. It is a huge loss. I'm just talking a very, very, very simple example. But if I'm talking about your personal data, how much of personal data you are having in this device in your cell phones? I'm sure so much of personal data is there in your cell phones. What if someone is having an access to them and they are just blocking your accounts? They are just changing the passwords. Somehow or the other, they are getting your data. And then they will be asking, for example, for God forbid, if you're having a personal picture of yours, someone is having access to it, and he or she is warning you that I will post your personal picture on social media, or you should pay me this much of money. Right? Then you will be regretting, wish I could have just implemented all these measures. Wish I could have just implemented these security measures on my cell phones. Wish I could have just taken care of the security of my device. Now I would have not faced this problem. Guys, remember one thing. This is a point where my leaders are always telling me, and I still remember it. The risk will never knock your door that tomorrow I will happen. It is unfortunate that up till now we have not faced with an issue. But let's just assume if we face such a problem, what will happen with us? Why we should not be precaution about all these points. Why we should not implement all these security measures before that we should face with these problems. So this is very much important, guys. Let me give you another example. This is something which is very much normal, and it was so much common in previous ages. Let's talk about year 2000. I still remember in 2000, none of my family members had cell phone. My uncle was in Saudi Arabia. We were always worried about his situation and condition and how he might be going on with his life, how he is going on with all this stuff and working on this. So what was happening there? If someone was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia, what we were doing, we were using cassette and tape. You guys remember the cassettes and tapes in the Stone Ages, I can say, that we were using it, right? What we were doing, we were recording our voice in that cassette. One by one, the family members were sitting and they were just sending the greetings, right? So everyone was completed. We have recorded these greetings, and someone was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia. So he or she was taking completely 6 months to reach from, for example, from Afghanistan to Saudi Arabia. Because in that time also there was no such travel facilities that we are having nowadays. On that time, people were walking, going there. People were using animals to travel from one country to another country. So it was taking 6 months to reach from Afghanistan to Saudi Arabia. And that cassette was to be reached to my uncle. My uncle was receiving the cassette. He was playing the voices of each and every one of us. Again, in the response, he was recording the cassette in the same tape. So he was recording his response. And again, he was sending this cassette, someone who was coming back to Afghanistan. Again, that person who was supposed to come from Saudi Arabia to Afghanistan, it was taking 6 months to come here, to reach here to Afghanistan. Then I was receiving the cassette. Then I was just playing it in the tape. And then I was listening to his response. So guys, how much time it takes to just exchange the greetings? 1 year. How much time? 1 year. But now look at the facility. Through WhatsApp, I'm recording a voice of 10, 15 minutes. I'm just pushing the button, talking, and just releasing the button in nanoseconds. In nanoseconds, my message will be sent all over the world. I am video calling my friends. My friend is, for example, in Australia. I'm calling him. A video call, I am seeing him. Oh, guy, you are so fat. You became so fat. Look, through a virtual video, I could have seen him. Who was thinking about this, that this facility will be provided? But now it is provided. We can never, ever ignore the facilities which are provided by this technology. But yes, beside all these facilities, there are some negative points also. That is security fees. If you are not applying all these security measures, I am sure we will lose such confidential data that we will be regretting it later on, which have of no use of regretting. So this session is just made for the same purpose. I am sure, guys, as I've given you an example in the very beginning, we are using the technology of digital in each and every field, starting from agriculture and ending on AI and artificial intelligence. So if we are so much stuck and related and having so much habit of using these devices, why we should not take care of the security measures? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. What is the safeguards? So up till now, we were talking about the risks and the threats which can face our devices and our personal or professional life. But now, what are the safeguards? What we should do, that we should prevent unauthorized people to access to my accounts, to my devices, to my systems. The very first point, which is important, passwords. Guys, password is the first firewall, the first safeguard wall, which is preventing outside world to access to my personal network. Starting from my cell phone and ending up on my social accounts, in each and every account, I'm using passwords. Right? Now, what we are doing for opening a gate, also there is a password methodology that I'm using. What is that? Fingerprint, face detection. These are now the highly improved technology that I'm using. I'm using them for what? For safeguarding my privacy. So now, guys, whenever we are talking about the passwords, it is not a simple word. Just use Ahmad123. This is my password. No, guys, we should use a strong password. What is a strong password? A strong password is a password where we should be using the combination of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, characters, and special words. A password should be minimum 8 characters, minimum. But if I tell you, you guys will not believe it. My social accounts, they are more than 24 characters that I'm using for accessing to my accounts. Why? Because I have gone through so many experiences. I have gone through the experience of all those people who are regretting whenever someone is having unauthorized access to their accounts. Then there is no time to regret. Why we should not be precaution? Why we should not use the precautions before anyone should have access to my such accounts? So, guys, what is the most important point for using a strong password? The very first thing, we should be using a complex password. The password should be having uppercase, lowercase, number, character, symbols. The second point, we should avoid using the simple words. For example, your date of birth. Sometimes, guys, I'm doing some ethical hackings, and I'm just creating some of the demo accounts, and then I'm trying to hack them. Believe me, in milliseconds, I can hack those accounts. Now, there are applications. They are automatically brute forcing the accounts. They are guessing their passwords. If you use a weak password, they can access to your profile very easily. If we had time, at the end of the session, I will show you a practical website also where you guys can check the complexity of your passwords also. Okay, and the next point is you guys should use password managers. There are some questions. I'm sure that this question may be in your minds also. Some of the people are saying, okay, there are some policies. Whenever you guys are using passwords, try to use different passwords for your different accounts. Unfortunately, some of the people are using the same passwords for so many other accounts. Guys, if one of your passwords is leaked, it means you have lost so many of other your accounts. So the next point is that we should be using different passwords for different accounts. But now there is question, how I will remember all these passwords? For example, I am having a Telegram account, I am having a Facebook account, LinkedIn account, and blah, blah, blah. There are 10 plus accounts. If I'm using different passwords, how I will remember it? The solution is password managers. There are applications which are secure that you guys can store your password. For example, for Facebook, I'm having a different password that is stored in Password Manager. I'm using LinkedIn profile and I'm having a different password for LinkedIn. So they are stored in my Password Manager. Now, again, there is another question. How I can believe on these password managers? Because they themselves are applications, they are built by the humans. How I can believe on these applications and I can just give them all my credentials so that can be stored in these managers. We are having premium password managers. Fortunately, for some of the Android cell phones, now the companies are having inbuilt password managers. For example, in Chrome also you guys are having password managers. All the responsibility is taken by Chrome. They are using the highest security measures to save your passwords securely. So this is the very first and the very important point, guys. Passwords are the very first defensive walls which are protecting us from the outside world. So we should use a very strong password. Next point, enable two-factor authentication, or we can call it as 2FA. I'm sure most of you are having the idea of using two-factor authentication, but I will give you a brief introduction because I'm sure in this session there are people from different fields, I'm sure, right? So that's why I'm going so much basic. For all those which these points are repeated, I'm apologizing from them because I cannot ignore not telling the fundamentals to the others. So I will go from fundamentals up to advanced. Okay, what is two-factor authentication, guys? For example, I just want to access my LinkedIn profile. Right? I have entered my username and password. This is the first layer. But there is a second layer that can also be used. What is that? That is your backup email or backup phone number. Still, LinkedIn is not giving me the access to my profile. However, I have entered the correct username and password. But then again, they are asking about another methodology, a second layer of security. What they are saying, we have sent a code to your email. Please enter that code. Or we have sent a code to your phone number. Please enter the code. Whenever I have entered the code, then the application is identifying me that yes, He is the owner of this application or this profile or this account. So then they will be giving me the access. So the usage of two-factor authentication. The first layer of security was password, but the second layer of security is using two-factor authentication. Guys, I know there are so many participants in the call. If you guys are having any questions, don't worry. I have dedicated the whole night for you guys. We can discuss your question up till time whenever it was possible, right? And we will be always in touch to LinkedIn, to WhatsApp, or so many other facilities, communication facilities that we are having. So note down your questions, whatever question you guys are having. So feel free to ask me. I will get so much happy if the participants are asking questions. Why? Because I will ensure that yes, my session was interesting and they have it was not boring for them, so they have listened properly. That is why they have collected so many questions and they are asking. So feel free, collect your questions, note down your questions. I will give you enough time to discuss. Next point, guys, keep software updated. The bad habit that we are having, our laziness, we are not updating the systems. There are so many reasons that we are not updating the system. The very first reason, for those who are just thinking about themes, backgrounds, and what we can see, this frontline backgrounds or lookings. Right? For example, I'm using iPhone, and this iPhone is having now, for example, a new ISO version. So my friend is saying, hey, Ahmad, huh? Look, the new version of ISO is having such great themes. The background is changed, the menu is changed, the coloring is fine, the all wallpapers are HD. So that is the reason I'm getting happy. So even I will upgrade it. This is the point that we are getting happy. But whenever we are asking, okay, so what is the difference between the ISO version 5.1 and 5.2? We are saying, like, I didn't see anything special, and we are ignoring it. No, guys. In the background, there are so many security measures. There are so many security settings which are being updated in the new iOS version. The owner of the system is spending so much money. Their staff, they are researching on it to upgrade their system. It is not only just for gaining the customer's attention for their themes, backgrounds, and all these lookings. No, there are security measures, guys, in the background, which is not known to you guys. There are encryption algorithms. For example, this Chrome browser, if still you guys are using the old version of the Chrome browser, believe me, you guys are in danger. Your system is vulnerable. The hackers can easily access to your accounts that you have been logged into the Chrome browser. But if you are upgrading it, there is no themes changes. But in the background, there are so many other things which are being changed. The facilities, the UTI, the user interface between the system and the client. There are facilities, the security measures, which are so much important. So guys, this is my advice to you guys. Any application, any system that you guys are using for your daily purposes, that daily purposes can be personal purposes, that can be professional purposes. Please, if you have the upgraded system available in the Play Store or on the internet, please upgrade your systems and applications. There are so many security measures which are being upgraded in the background, but you guys are not aware of it. But believe me, if you guys have updated the system and still you are complaining, okay, what was the benefit of me upgrading the system? Believe me, the hackers might have tried on your systems, and these security measures have prevented them not to have access to your systems. So please upgrade your systems and applications. Next point, cache is about public Wi-Fi. One of the major issues. And the hackers are using these weak points so much greatly. What is the point? Free Wi-Fi zone. And we are just running and we are so much happy. Guys, come. What is happening? Because there is a free Wi-Fi zone. Let's use the Wi-Fi. And we are using it very much comfortably. Guys, do you know about the dangers of these networks? These are the honeypots. The honeypots from the hackers. Whenever you are connecting your devices, each and every person who are connected to this network, they are having full access to your devices. They can use the security and the ethical hacking tools and they can access to your data. How? I will give you an example, guys. Whenever you are connecting your computer to a Wi-Fi, right? there is a message. There is a message. In the message, there is written yes and no. I'm sure you guys have not read the content of that message and you're just clicking on yes. And why you're clicking on yes? Because you're thinking, if I click on no, I will not get connected to this network. So that's why I'm just clicking on yes. Brother, sister, just 2 minutes it will take. More than, not more than that is maximum. 30 seconds it will take to read the message and understand what is the cautions there. What are those messages delivering to me? What are the dangers? Then you will come to know whether I should connect to this network or not. You guys know what is written in that message? In that message, it is written, do you want to give access to all these devices to access to your device? And you guys are clicking on what? On yes. So it means, if I'm a hacker, I am providing you a free Wi-Fi zone, and you're connecting your computer or your cell phone, your mobile phones. Whenever you're giving me the access and you're clicking on yes, very easily through the hacking tools, I can access to your photos, to your videos, to your files, to your accounts, to your password manager, and blah, blah, blah. Please, guys, whenever you guys are using any Wi-Fi network, even if that is your personal hotspot, if that is not assured, please do not connect to such networks. It is very much danger. These are the honeypots from the hackers. Let me give you an example. When I have gone for my master's to India, and there was, when I was a student, so you know, in that stage, the financial stability was also not good. So what was happening? We were going to a restaurant which was near to our college, and they were giving free Wi-Fi. However, the food was not good at all. I know there are many of my friends from India. I love them, but because the traditions are different, right? So the food was a bit spicy in all the restaurants of India. But still, there was a restaurant they were giving only spicy foods. Spicy fast food, that was the name. And there was nothing that I could have eaten, only vada pav. My Indian friends will come to know what is vada pav, right? So I was just eating vada pav. However, the vada pav amount was so much less for me that I should be full. But I was just going there for what? For using their Wi-Fi. We are going to the airports. In the airports, there is free Wi-Fi. I'm just finding it and connecting my phone. Guys, know about the dangers. I have told you before. This can be a trick of a hacker. This can be a honeypot. A hacker might have created it. Whenever you're connecting your devices, they can easily access to all the data which you guys are having in your devices. So be so much careful about using such free Wi-Fi's which are there in the publics. So I hope you guys come to know about this point, and I have talked so much briefly about this risk. So how we can mitigate this one? We can use VPNs, virtual private network. Guys, I have told you, if it's not necessary, do not use the public Wi-Fi. But you are stuck in a situation where you should connect to this network. But no issues, there is a mitigation. You guys can use the VPN. Turn on your VPN. VPNs are having the encryption algorithms. If you guys are using the premium applications of VPNs, they are having strong encryption algorithm. You guys can easily connect to the network and use the facility of this Wi-Fi. So what I have written in this image, free Wi-Fi, think again. I hope these participants who are there in the session, after connecting to free Wi-Fi, once they will think, okay, I have so much confidential data in my device. If I'm getting connected, anyone can access to my data. So later on, I should not be created. Think about it before getting connected to this. Next point is, guys, data encryption. So encryption is a topic. If I talk about it, so it will take so much time. In a brief, I'm telling you, what is encryption? Encryption means cipher. What do you mean by cipher? There are my friends, right? If I talk in Dari and Pashto, I'm sure most of the people will not come to know. Only my Afghani friends or those who knows about Dari and Pashto. But those who don't know my language, it will look like a cipher. They will not come to know what I'm talking. Right? So the same is the encryption algorithm, that we can use it between the sender and receiver. There is a key. What this key is doing, this key is locking my communication. For example, I am sending a message on WhatsApp. Whenever you guys create your WhatsApp accounts for the first time, right? There is a message written, end-to-end encrypted. Right? You guys might have seen this message, I'm sure. Encryption means whenever you're sending a message, for example, Khadija is sending a message to Alice. Right? Khadija is sharing a very confidential data with Alice. But she just wants to make sure that my data should not be leaked. It means unauthorized people should not have access to my data. So what they should be doing, they should encrypt their data. What is encryption? Encrypt means they will lock the data. They will convert the actual meaning of the file or the communication into a cipher, into some symbols which is not readable. Only Alice can read it. How Alice can read it? Because she is having the private key. This private key is used for opening the message. Right? So whenever she's having the key, she's opening the message and she comes to know what Khadija had told her. And then she will be replying. Again, whenever she's replying, other people, even if they are accessing to the communication, still they will not come to know what is being communicated because they are all converted into cipher, symbols, and characters. Right? So this is the usage of encryption whenever you guys are using the VPN, virtual private network. They are having encryption algorithm. What is happening? Whenever you guys are sending the data through the VPN tunnel, the data is only visible for the sender and receiver. If someone is accessing it in the middle, because they are not having the key, they cannot open the message. Another scenario I'm telling you guys, I'm sure there will be some files that you guys have given passwords, right? For example, there is a financial report of my company, and I just want to share this one with my manager. I don't want anyone else to have access to my report or this communication. So what I'm doing, I am keeping my message in a folder, or for example, it's a PDF file and I'm keeping it in a folder and I'm just giving a password to this file. So what I'm doing, I'm sharing the password with, for example, A. But then the key, the password should not be shared to the same tunnel. Why? Because if a hacker is having an access to my communication, if I'm sending a folder which is locked, and then I'm sending a key also to the same tunnel, it is useless because the user can find the key also and they can open the message. So what is the best way? You guys should use, for example, you can use your report, you can send your report to Gmail, but you can share the key, the password to another tunnel, to Telegram, to Teams, to Skype, or to some other secure application. So we have ensured the security. Why? Because if someone is having access to my file, it is locked. The hacker is not having the key, so they cannot open it. But I am making sure that at least your A, he is having the file from Gmail, and he or she is having the key from, for example, WhatsApp. So I have assured that yes, my file has not been accessed by unauthorized people. So now this is the best way. If you're sending a very confidential data, try to encrypt them. Try to assign them passwords. Share the data from one channel and share the password from another channel. Okay. Next point, guys, the very important point, data backups. I had a training in some other institution, and one of my student here, she had complained that I have lost my iPhone. I have lost my phone, and I have so much data where I'm so much worried about it or exhausted. I'm just regretting that how I can just recover my data. I have told her, do you have your Apple ID in your phone? She told me yes. In 5 minutes, we have recovered all the data. Data backup is one of the best practices that we should be implementing it both in our offices and in our personal lives. We are having Apple IDs in our phones, and for example, Gmail accounts in our Android phones. Right? Those are the best ways. We can use 50 GB free of the cloud storage. We can give the backups of our confidential data. If for God forbid I'm losing my device, no issues. Device is not so much valuable rather than my data. I'm sure, right? Guys, for God forbid, if you lose your phone, will you be regretting the value of your phone or your data? I'm sure most of you will be regretting the value of your data, right? But if you're having the backup of your data, you will have a new device. You will log into your Apple ID and you will recover all your data. So this is a very best measure for preventing from data loss. It is a very good practice that we should be implementing it to ensure my data is not lost. Another point is, training and awareness sessions. Again, thanks to the conductors of this program, I am so much grateful of them, because in our society, most of the people are not aware of the threats of cyber. There are so many gaps. There are so much small points. If you do not take care of it, for God forbid, you will lose your personal data. You will be impacted on your virtual personality. Whenever your virtual personality is impacted, it will directly impact your actual personality also. So training sessions are one of the best methods that we can minimize the risk of cyber attacks. Today, these sessions are conducted for you guys, that you should be aware of all the streets which are there in the world of technology. I am calling the word of technology the word of fake realities. I am calling it a fake world. Why? Because everything is made of humans' hands. A human had made this application. A human had made this device. A human have created the computers and phones. Anyone can access to my data anytime if they want. Right? But the owner will never do it because of their reputation. But if an illegal person, a hacker, is accessing to my data, so then the company will also not get the responsibility. Why? Because I have told you that you should use a strong password. If you're using a password 123, that is not guaranteed by me. Right? We have these training sessions just because of this purpose, that we should be taking care of these measures so that we can minimize the risk of losing our data. Another point is physical security. Guys, one of the most important points that I should have told you guys this point in the very beginning, but still I will tell you this point. In the very beginning, before using the firewalls, before using the passwords, before using all the two-factor authentication or all other security applications, it is very much important that we should take care of the physical security of our devices or our compromises. Why? Because, for example, just giving you another example. I am in my office and I'm just leaving for an urgent call. For example, my manager had called me to visit my room. Whenever I'm moving to my manager's room, I am keeping my computer open. Why? Because of my laziness. What is the laziness? Because I have, the company has a policy that I should be using a 12-character password. If I log this one, go till my manager's room, and in 5 minutes I will come back, and then again I will log in with that long and lengthy password. This is my laziness. But what if, for God forbid, whenever you have left your manager's room, someone had entered to the room and they are seeing, the computer is open, my accounts are open, my Gmail account is open, my Outlook account is open. They can misuse my profile. They can send an illegal email from my email to all the staff. And then my virtual personality will be impacted. That virtual personality will directly impact my actual personality. Because if tomorrow I'm facing with my colleague, he will say, I'm so angry on you. Why? Because you have sent me such an unpolite email. When I'm saying it was sent, but I have not sent it. That is not the point. If you have not sent it, it was sent from your profile, from your Gmail, for example, Nasrarullah or Zarif at gmail.com. Now you cannot blame the technology and all this stuff. You are blamed. Why? Because you have not taken the care of your physical security. Right? So guys, it is very much important, especially whenever we at home also. I will give you an example. Most of the mothers or sisters, what they are doing, they are giving their own personal devices to their kids. Those devices where they have their office's Gmail accounts, they are having their personal videos and images. They are giving their cell phone to that kid, and that kid is taking it out to the street, and someone is just taking the phone from their hands, and they can access to all your personal data. This is a measure which is so much important, guys. The very first stage, we should take care of the physical security. Okay, for the personal usages, we should be having a different device. And for our offices purposes, we should be having a different device. For the kids, please have a different device, guys. I have gone through so many experiences. Most of the mothers or sisters were crying that, oh, I have lost my phone. How you have lost it? I have gave it to my kid, and he had taken it out to outside, and someone have stolen it. And the screen was also open. It was not locked because the kid was playing game. Whenever the person have taken it, the screen was open and he could have easily access to all their data. Think about it, guys, especially my sisters and mothers. How difficult it will be if someone is having access to your personal videos or images. So taking care of the physical security is in the very priority. Whenever you're leaving your office for even 2 minutes also, lock your computer. Lock the gate of your office if you are alone. Okay, it will take 2 minutes, guys, not more than 2 minutes, that you will come back, open your door and unlock your computer screen. But you are preventing from a very huge unauthorized access to your devices. Please take care of the physical security myself. We can use different measures. Someone is saying, okay, I have a CCTV in my room. That is why I'm just keeping my computer open. Okay, so if someone is just covering his face, accessing to your computer, what the CCTV will do? You will just come to know how a person that came and he had sit on my chair and he was writing an email. But who was he or she? It cannot be clear, right, guys? So take care of the physical security at the very beginning. Okay, guys. Now we are coming to the last topic of our session, that is securing the home Wi-Fi. So, guys, as I have told you before, one of the major facility which is nowadays in our homes also, we are using these routers for accessing the internet. Internet itself is an outside world. There are different types of people. People are using the internet facility for the different purposes. 70% of these purposes can be positive, but 40% of these purposes are illegal. Hackers are there on the word of signals, I mean in the space, right? There are people that they are looking for the insecure communication. These routers itself, they are using some protocols for encrypting the data. Encryption, I hope now you guys know what is the meaning of encryption. If these routers are using the weak algorithms, the hackers can cross them, they can decrypt all your messages. So it is very much important, guys, before that you get the facility of the Wi-Fi's from any ISP, internet service providers, the router, the hardware device that you guys are using for internet facilities, try to have the latest versions with the latest upgraded algorithms. Because these are all the servers, I can tell you. This is the server where, for example, 20 devices are connected. All those data are being exchanged to this router, to the external world. So in the home Wi-Fi's, it is very much important, guys. I am giving you some of the measures that you guys should be taking care of it before using the facility of Wi-Fi routers in your homes. In offices also, I'm sure there are some big companies, or even in the mid-level companies, they are having IT departments, right? They are controlling all this stuff. But there are some small companies like homes. They are not taking care of it because some of people are not aware of these measures. So I am giving you all those points that you should be taking care of it before using the facility of this Wi-Fi. The first one, change the default SSID and password. Guys, whenever you're buying this Wi-Fi router, it is being configured default from the organizer, from that company, whoever they are. For example, it's a Cisco router. It is having a default username and password. For example, Cisco, and the password is admin. At the very first stage, guys, whenever you're going to that ISP from where you're getting the internet services, please tell them to change the password. You can also change it very easily. There is a button at the back of this routers, which is written reset. You can press that button for seconds, and then in the computers, there will be configuration pages, and then you guys can change the password and username. This is the very first point, that you guys should change the default username and passwords of your Wi-Fi routers. The second point, use WPA3 encryption algorithms. Dear friends, these routers that we are using, I know, and if you guys agree with me, still at homes we are using routers from last 10 years. I am sure, including me also. Before I do my master's in cybersecurity and come to know about the experiences, I was using a router for more than 7 years. Guys, 7 years is a huge age. I have told you in the beginning, in minutes, there is changes in the world of technology. So there are routers which are upgraded and they are using WPA3 encryption algorithms. Whenever you are buying a router and you are getting connected to it, right? For example, you are going to your Wi-Fi page on your computer or your cell phones. Before you guys connect to a network, there is 3 dots. Click on it, all this information will come. In the information, it will be written that which algorithm is being used by this router. At the very high stage, those routers which are upgraded, they are using WPA3 encryption algorithms, which are the latest and strong encryption algorithms. Okay, there are 2 options. If WPA3 is not there, WPS. This is a facility which is by default enabled in the routers. Please disable them. There is a small option whenever you come to the settings. There is written WSP, WPS. There is an option of on and off. Please off it. Please disable this. Okay, because there are some unauthorized access risks in these routers. Anyone, for example, your home is just near to the street, right? You have placed your router in a room where the signals are accessible in the street also. If a hacker is sitting in the street and they are accessing to your Wi-Fi, and if the WPS is enabled, they can access to the configuration of the router, they can change the password, they can connect other devices. So please make sure to disable the WPS option in your routers. Another point, enable MAC address filter. Guys, this is a screenshot which I have taken it from my own router, and I just want to show it to you guys. It's very much simple. Whenever you connect your router to your computer and press that reset button, this page will be appearing. In this page, there is an option of Wi-Fi. In the Wi-Fi, there are so many options which where you guys can connect all the devices, because these are different devices. For example, my phone, my sister's phone, my father's, my mother's, and my uncle's. Okay, my uncle, he is using it only for today, and he left my home, so that's why I have disabled it. You guys just want to have, you just want to give the access to some specific devices to be connected to your router. What you guys can do, you guys can enable MAC address filtering. Okay, guys, there is an option. There is an option called Wi-Fi MAC address. Whenever you guys enable this one, only those devices will be shown to you guys which are connected to this device. For example, this is Ali's Wi-Fi cell phone, which is connected to my network. So what I'm doing is I will just give access to Ahmad, Mahmoud, Khadija, Alice, and Johnson. But this person was my friend. He came just visit my home. I give him the access to my internet. But whenever he left my home, what I have done, I have the auto join is disabled. It means now if he's trying to join to my network, he need to have the internet. First, he cannot access it because I have enabled the MAC address filter. So this is a good option. I will share these slides. Don't worry, guys. You guys can use this screenshot also to enable the MAC address filtering so that you can specifically give access to some specific devices, and you guys can disable those devices which were connected to your network before. Okay. And the next point is update router firmware. Before I have told you, I was using a router for 7 years. But then whenever I have come to know about the risks behind the firmware of the routers, I have directly gone and I have upgraded my router. Guys, if you guys are using any Wi-Fi routers from so long, please upgrade them, go to the market. You guys can buy the new and updated systems, all those routers that I have mentioned before, that they should be using WPS3 algorithms, so that the encryption algorithms are so much strong and the people will not be able to access to your data. Okay. Another point is disable remote management. Guys, this is a very much important point. What you guys can do in this point is you guys can disable the remote management. For example, if someone is having access to your network, all those devices which are connected to the routers, they can change the configurations. But what you guys can do is you guys can go to your router settings and go to the device information, and then in this point, look, this is the IP address. This is the IP address that you guys can see that, yes, this is my IP address and I'm having the access and no one have ever access to the configuration of my router, and now they cannot enable any configurations in my router. So please, before you guys use the routers, if someone is from IT field at your home, or if you guys are going to the ISP, tell to the technical person that please disable the remote management so that everyone, for example, the hacker is in the street. If he is having access to my Wi-Fi, he should not be able to make any configuration. So this is a very important point, guys. Before using the routers, please disable the remote management. Okay, so what are the precautions? What you guys can do to safeguard your home Wi-Fi? The first point, create a guest network. For example, let's talk about the office premises. We are having a training session for 5 days, and there are vendors which are coming outside of my network, outside of my organization. I cannot give them the access to my organization. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a guest network. I'm creating a different network from my main network so that those guests can access and they can just connect to the guest Wi-Fi and they cannot access to my main network. So this is one of the solutions that we can do. Another point, use a firewall. What is firewall, guys? Firewall is a facility where you guys can define all the policies. The policies among your network and outside world. What you guys can do in this firewall, this is, for example, the guard in our office's gates. Before that I should enter to the office premises, I should show my ID card. If I'm not having an ID card, I should tell them that for which purpose I'm visiting the office. This is a policy, right? And you guys are having the policy. For example, if you're working in an office, you guys cannot use the USB, the pen drives, I mean the flashes. You guys cannot use it in your computer, in your office computers. Why? Because that policy is made in the firewall. Each and every computer is having the firewalls. Even in the network, you guys can use the firewall. You guys can define the policies. What is the policy? If the IP address is 123, allow them to access. If the IP address is 456, please do not allow them to access to my network. So one of another measures that we can mitigate the risk is that we should be using firewalls. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your patience. I just hope, guys, that this session was not so much boring for you guys. So now is the part of question and answers. So I will again give the roof to my colleagues so that they can go ahead and whatever they have instructed, so we can go ahead with our session. Thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for participating in the session, guys. So now we are having the session of question and answers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zarif. That was really an insightful and great presentation. So now let's open the Q&A session. So first of all, I'll ask some questions, then we will go with the participants' questions. And dear all, if you have any questions, you can just simply drop that in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and we will go over your question as much as possible. Okay, everyone. So Mr. Zarif, the first question I have is, okay.
Yes, please go ahead. I can hear you.
So we have talked about the passwords. So what are the best practices for managing multiple passwords without compromising security? So as we have...
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, please go on.
Yeah, no, please go ahead. Please complete your question and then I will give you the answer.
Okay, so as everybody's using the different apps and different accounts, so mostly we need multiple or many of the passwords for different accounts. So how we can do that?
If you guys remember in the presentation also I have mentioned the solution for having so many passwords for different accounts, we can use the password managers. Password managers for the application, whenever you guys are downloading it, of course, guys, remember that you will be downloading the premium applications, right? You should not download the applications from any sites. The best resources are the app stores or all those other authorized Play stores, App Store and phone stores. You guys can download it from the verified resources, guys, remember, okay? So whenever you have downloaded it, it will be directly attached to your mobile systems. And whenever you guys are creating any accounts in any different fields or applications, what is happening there is the password manager automatically is giving you an option. Do you want to save password? Yes, I will save it. So what I will do, I will log into my password manager. The password manager itself is having a password. For example, my phone, there is an application password manager. Before I access to the application, there is a password. Again, you guys should use a very strong password to this application because you're storing so much of application. So I have opened the password manager application and I have stored a password. For example, Facebook password. What is the password? You're writing the password and it will be saved. If tomorrow or 3 months later, 1 year later, you forgot your password, just log into your password manager application. You can get your username and password and you can use it very easily. I hope your question is answered.
Yes, thank you so much. One more question is that how can I recognize and avoid fake security apps or softwares? Or
Very good
also, yes, and also, what should I do if I accidentally click on a phishing link or download a suspicious file?
Very good questions. I want to just go ahead with your first question, how we can verify the premium or the verified applications. Guys, whenever you are going to the Play Store or App Store, you are searching an application, for example, Password Manager. Before downloading it, please go to the information of the application. There are 3 points that should be taken care of. The first one, the rating of the application. If the application is 5-star, it means it is a premium application. You guys can believe on it and you can download it. If the application is a 4-star, still it is fine. But if an application is 3-star and lower than it, it means there is a risk. This is the first point. The second point, go to the author of the application. Who have created this application? For example, the Facebook, right? It's been created, for example, by Mahmoud. I'm just giving an example. Go to the internet and search who have created the Facebook application. The Google will tell you Ahmad. Whenever you have seen the name of creator of the application, then it will be verified that yes, this is a genuine application. And the third point, go to the feedbacks. Always in the Play Store, the application, there are people who have given their feedbacks. From those feedbacks also you can get that yes, people have used it, they are so much happy from it, so I can download it. But even from the feedbacks, if the possibility of negative feedbacks are there, you should ignore the application and use another ways of finding a proper application. So this was the answer of your first question. The second, what if mistakenly I have clicked on a phishing link? I have mistakenly do it. So what are the very first and immediate steps that I should be taking care to avoid the spread of this attack in my network? The very first point, guys, before receiving any emails from outsiders, please verify the email addresses. What the hackers are doing, the hackers are using different domains to access or to send emails. For example, let's just assume there is an email from an organization of UNHCR, right? UNHCR have sent me an email and he have told me that you are selected for a position in our office, in our organization. Please click on this link and provide us your information, documents, or whatsoever. What I will do is, first I will think with myself, have I ever applied for this position? If yes, still I should not be convinced. I will go to the next step of security. What I will do, I will go and I will check the email domain. What the hackers are doing. Hackers are writing, what they are writing, unhcr.com. For example, I'm just giving an example, .com. But whenever you go, there is a spelling mistake. What is the spelling mistake? In the com, instead of writing COM, they have written CAM. If you guys have seen a spelling mistake, definitely you guys should come to know, this is a phishing attempt. So these are the points that only I'm telling you. But now, by mistake, if you have clicked on a link, what you should be doing in the very first, please disconnect from the internet. Because the hackers are having the access to your devices to the internet, because you have opened a door and they are having the access to the internet. This is the first point. The second point, directly delete those emails that you guys have received and you guys have responded to. In the third point, because these are the very immediate steps that you should be taking care of. In the third point, then you can refer to the technical guy. For example, in your office, there will be an IT manager. You can tell him that, okay, Ahmad, someone have sent me a link and mistakenly I've clicked on it. But I have done these points. What you have done, I have disconnected the internet and I have deleted all the chat history. So what I should do in the next step? Then the IT or the technical person will be doing their assessments. They will be defining the root cause, they will define the destination, who have sent it, from where it was sent, what was the purpose, what was the malicious attack. In the code, there will be the execution files, or there will be a link which is redirecting you to, for example, to your Gmail account, to your LinkedIn account. They will be defining it, and then they will be creating a new policy to their network, and they will be filtering all such email domains that they should not be capable of sending emails to their network. I hope your questions are answered.
Yes, sir, indeed. Thank you so much. Now we're going to, we have some people who have raised their hand. First, Miss Uncle.
Yes, please. I have seen so many questions are there in the chat, but let's have this one face-to-face verbally, right? So please raise your hands. My colleagues will be giving you chances, calling your names, and then you can directly talk to me.
Okay, that's all right. So, Miss Unglo, can you go on first?
Thank you. I just want to ask a question from someone on behalf of Kevin from is asking his question from YouTube. So we have 3 questions. The first one is to know if we are not logging out from app, is it safe? Still data is still encrypted. The second question is our chat on WhatsApp and Instagram are safe. They can be seen by whom? I think this is the 2 questions.
Got your questions. Thank you so much. So I will go to the answers. Now, your first question was, if I do not log out from an application, will it be safe? What is the problem, guys? In one of the internet shops, I can tell you, or I can just tell you about the cafes, or there are some internet clubs, right? So sometimes we are going there and just checking our Gmails or whatsoever. Or what I'm doing, I'm using my friend's or colleague device to log into my device. If you do not log out from that device, and you have saved your password. You remember whenever you're logging in, for example, you have logged into your Gmail, right? On a browser, for example, Chrome. And this computer belongs to someone else. Whenever you log in, there is a message. They are saying save password or remember me. If you click on this one, the next time whenever you're logging into your account, there is no need of giving the passwords. So definitely it's insecure because you have logged into your Gmail to your friend's computer, and you have remembered your password also. But then you have just do not log it out and you have just go away. That person can easily just go to the browser, just click on those Gmail login page where your username or password should be written. Whenever they click there, your name will be appearing. He or she is clicking on your name, the password will be automatically filled and they can access to your profile. So it is very much dangerous. Second point. I am chatting from WhatsApp or Telegram or Instagram. Is it safe? In the beginning, I have told you, no one can assure the safety of their application systems 100%. But we can minimize the risk. What we can do is we can use the best way of communications. Yes, WhatsApp, if I'm using my number properly, the physical SIM card is with me and the account is on my name, I can use it for communications. No issues, because every 6 or 3 months, there is an updation in our WhatsApp system. And the responsibility is taken by Facebook owners, and they are using the high security algorithm. The same is for Instagram. But still, I have seen the people who are having their WhatsApps, but the physical SIM card is not with them. A very huge risk. What is the risk? For example, whenever you buy a new phone and you try to log into your WhatsApp, what they are saying, they have sent a code to your SIM card, right? For example, two-factor authentication I'm talking about. If that SIM card is not with you and that is with someone else, all right? If they have the access to that code and they log into your account, all your chat history will be recover to their home. Look, what a huge danger it is, right? But this is which is the human's responsibility. It is not, of course, the owner's responsibility. I am the WhatsApp owner, this is my responsibility. That I should be taking care of all these measures. I should have the physical SIM card also, and I should be keeping my SIM card up to date. If I'm changing the SIM card, definitely I should immediately change my phone number also. Changing the phone number will not impact on losing your contact history. Even a message will be sent to all your contact that Miss, for example, A has changed their phone number to a new number. So this is a best solution. I hope your questions are answered.
Yes, thank you, sir. And the next one, Mr. Ismatullah, please ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much for this informative webinar. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
So I have a question for you, Mr. Zarif. What's your one advice for someone just starting out in the cybersecurity field, and which skills should they acquire for a successful career? Thank you.
I think I know you. You might be my student from Cardano University, right?
Perhaps, or maybe not.
Okay. So what are the best strategies, advices for starting the cybersecurity? I'm sure, my dear friend, in this world, whoever is from different fields also, at least they know about the technology. At least they know how to use the computers and mobile phones. At the very beginning, my advice is that you should be having a background of IT, information technology, computer science. Whenever you know about the usages of all these applications, that how they are building, how they are configured, how they are being managed in the background. For example, they are writing the codings, right? You guys might have, if you are a student of computer science, you know much more better than me that how you are building an application, right? So all the configurations are happening. If you know the background of all these functionalities of these applications, network, for example, I can tell you IT, I'm sure that is more than enough for you that you will be starting up a cybersecurity. So what you will do in the very beginning is that you will understand the actual meaning of the technology. In the technology, there are so many different fields. There is digital, there is information technology, and there is network. So you should be defining now your criteria, whether I will be doing the network security, whether I will be doing the application security, or whether I will be doing the IoT security. Whenever you have defined your field, of course, you will be having information in your own field. For example, IoT, Internet of Things, right? That we are using in our today's life. For example, hey Siri, turn on the fan. This is an IoT. You should know the background of how it is working, how I am communicating with the systems. Then you will come to know about the security measures. Then the security tweaks will be defined. That these are the challenges, and these are the mitigations. How the mitigations will be implemented, that will be the engineer of the computer science, who will be programming their systems in a very secure way, that they will ensure the security of their application. I hope it is clear to you here.
Thank you so much, sir. One more question from Ms. Tahmina. Ms. Tahmina, please ask your question.
Hello, Mr. Nasrarullah again.
Hello.
The first question was that you were in Cardano University as a teacher?
I was there, but now I'm working in another firm.
Oh, I was a student there. Because of that, I asked it.
Okay, computer science?
No, English language.
Okay. So I was a lecturer in computer science field.
That's really good. Mr. Nasrarullah, my question is that if you mentioned it earlier, that if we use public Wi-Fi in our cell phones, and if we open the secure things in our mobile, they may hack us. They may use our personal things. These things happens if we use, like, if I have a friend, if I get Wi-Fi from her mobile, she can hack and get my personal information like that, or not?
Dear, to be very much honest, yes, there is a possibility of having unauthorized access to your cell phone. But this is not very much easy and not very much simple. That only you're connected to their hotspot and she can access to your cell phone. No, there will be tools, there will be some applications, and there will be a knowledge of using the ethical hackings or illegal hackings, that how they will be tracking your communications and how they will be accessing to your personal data. No, it is not possible. But what is the risk? If her hotspot is open, she has just given it for a positive purpose because you're using it, right? But what if there is another person just sitting behind you or next to you, and he is also connected to the network? He or she is a hacker. In that case, he or she is having her own computer. He or she is having the tools. They will be using their own knowledge and skills, and then they can somehow or the other access to your data. So it's not very much simple that anyone who is giving me the hotspot connection, they can access to my data. So what was the risk? I have told you this can be the honeypots from the hackers. Do not connect to all those public Wi-Fi which are not known to you. Even I have told you, do not connect to the hotspot of your friend also, because she might not be aware a hacker might be connected to this network. So that is why it is so much narrow that we should be thinking about all these risks.
Yes, Mr. Nasrarullah, you're right. Because, we run our organization, Women Ascension, and we have lots of emails that are with us, professional emails, but also at the same time, we are receiving too many scams in our emails that they are saying that please download this file, please open this file. Once we did that and our website get hacked. So what is the possible way that we can get rid of these things?
So now in this case, all these organizations that I've told you before who are giving the internet services, they are having a different department of IT. And I'm sure you guys might be having IT department in your organization, right?
Yeah.
So what your technical guy or that IT manager is doing, he is implementing all the policies and the firewall. Why you cannot access USB or your external hard disk, you cannot connect it to the computer, your PC, because a policy is created in the firewall. There is a firewall in your PC, personal computer also, in your cell phone also, and in the whole network also. In the network, we are having a different server, which is called firewall, and they are applying all the policies. The policies will be according to the rules and regulation of the company. Whoever who want to access to this network, they will be filtered. They will be cross-checked with the policy. If they are aligned, they will be allowed. If they are not aligned, they will be denied, and they cannot access to the network.
Oh, okay. So should we avoid any messages and emails that we get from unknown people in our emails?
No, not everyone, but at least we should look. This person had sent me an email. Do I know him or her? Have I ever connected with him? Have I requested something? Or, for example, nowadays what is happening so much, I'm sure you guys might have faced with this problem. In the WhatsApps, there were links which were sent. You are the winner of iPhone 16 Pro Max. Click on this link, fill your information, send this link to the groups and your 20 friends, and then you will be nominated for the prize, right? These are all the attempts.
Yes.
How it is possible, guy, that I have not even purchased something, that I have not applied for any lotteries, then how they are telling me that directly you're just winner of this iPhone? So now there we will be using our logic. Have I ever applied for this one? Yes. Okay, yes. Again, I will just cross-check the sender. Is it the verified sender? And then precautiously, I will go ahead. What the phishing attacks attempts are? These are some signs. The phisher attacker is somehow or the other forcing you to provide them the information. If you have seen these points, definitely it means there is something fishy. Right? I have not applied for a scholarship, but then I'm getting emails that you have been selected for our scholarship. Please click on this link.
Yes.
Miss
Nasrat, yeah. Ms. Nasrarullah, these days I got an email from someone that have told me that I have selected for an interview, and they call me that I should join their Zoom link.
Have you given this interview before?
No.
Definitely.
I didn't
so now,
no.
Exactly. So you will be using your own logic that, okay, I have not given any interview. How I'm shortlisted? So you definitely directly block them. Even do not try to reply to their emails also, because now there are some techniques of the hackers that even whenever you are replying also, your information is getting transferred to them. So be so much careful of all these communications.
Oh, thank you so much, Ms. Nasrarullah. This
My
was
pleasure.
the best.
And one more thing I want to tell you guys, that this was not a session of one day. We will always be in contact through LinkedIn, through WhatsApp, through any other channel. If you guys are facing any such problems, feel free. Maybe I will reply a bit late, but I will definitely reply to your concerns, and we will solve the problems.
For sure, Mr. Nasrarullah. I will connect with you in LinkedIn and we'll talk more.
Okay, next question, guys.
Okay, thank you so much. We have about 4 more questions, then we'll close the meeting. Okay, the question is that I have heard that password manager using is not a safe way. What do you suggest as an alternative method? And also, Chrome saves passwords. Is it just for a specific device, or does it store our password in Google storage?
Okay, so the very first thing I will come to how I can believe on this application of password manager, right? Because I'm giving so much confidential data of mine. All the credential will be giving to the password manager. How I can believe on this? Still, I'm sure that this application will be created by a person, by a human, right? So he will be the owner. He or she can access it and can leak my data anytime he or she wants. But I have told you the points that how we can ensure that I have downloaded this application from a verified resource. You guys should download these applications from Play Store or App Store. No other resources. Because any application which is being registered to the Play Store or Google Store or App Store, there is a committee, a security committee, which is cross-checking more than 150 points. Whenever the application have been crossed and they have been successfully fulfilled all those requirements, then they will be allowed to be registered in the Play Store and Google Store, and the users can download them and use them properly. This is the first point. The second point, you guys should see the rating of the application. If the rating of the application is 4 or above the 4, that is a verified application, you guys can download. Third point, you guys should look the owner of this application, who have created or built this application. And the third one, look the feedbacks. If there were positive feedbacks, you guys can easily download this application and you guys can freely, because even myself, I am using the password manager. I have downloaded it from the App Store. I have cross-checked all these points that I have told you, and I'm comfortable using it. There is no issue. And the second question, the Chrome password management system. It is a bit risky. In which case it is risky if someone is physically having access to your computer. For example, this is my computer, as I've told you before, right? I'm just going outside and someone is setting to my password, to my PC. We are going to my browser. In the browser, there is an option of password manager. All these passwords are getting stored in Chrome's storage, no other storage, right? Chrome itself is ensuring that your passwords are safe. But if physically someone is having access, that is not being assured by the Chrome, okay? Because it is my laziness, I have not logged my computer, and that person can just open my Chrome and get all the passwords. There is a risk. But that is all related to your smartness. Now, I hope you guys know after this session, you guys will come to know. If I'm using this browser and I have saved the passwords, please go to your settings of the browsers, go to the history. In the history, clear history. In the clear history, there is cache passwords. Take them all and you can delete it, and then the passwords will be deleted from your Chrome password management. I hope it is now clear to everyone.
Sir, I have a question from you.
Yes, please.
Sir, Israel has a software of Pegasus, which is called Pegasus. China has a software which is called Firewall. And lots of governments around the world have bought those kind of softwares from Israel, from China, in order to do surveillance and get the data of their citizens and do the surveillance of citizens. What do you think? Is there any international organization which can make accountable Israel, China for these kind of wrongful acts in order to selling these kind of softwares, in order to getting this data, personal data, and do the surveillance of citizens, violating their privacy rights and these kind of things? Is there any international organizations that are working in order to protect the data of the people around the world, global citizens? Yes? Can you explain this?
Sure. Yeah, please. I got the point. I just don't want to take the topic to the politics. I just want to give you an example. I was there in India during the COVID. I was there and I was working with BDO India. So we have faced a problem. If I have my friends from India, they might be aware of this accident. Guys, the world of technology now have improved so much. And remember this point of me, if the third world war is happening, it will be a cyber war. No humans will be involved. Only machines, only cyber, and only robots will be involved. Then we can see it nowadays, right? We have seen the explosions of the cell phones and all the other stuffs in the many other countries. So now, guys, what is happening now here? In India, whenever I was there, China has created some of the application which was so much famous and people were using it so much during the COVID. There were two popular applications, PUBG and TikTok. You guys, I'm sure you guys might have used it so much whenever you guys were at home and free, and you guys were using PUBG and TikTok. What had happened? China and India's are a bit opposite in the political relations. So more than 7.5 million data of the Indian citizens were hacked and leaked by the China. To what? To the TikTok and PUBG application. That is why it was banned in India, and instead they have built their own application. Same in Afghanistan, in other countries, there were some bandages on using of these applications. So now there are some political points. There are some political points that can be used for a different purpose. However, those applications were introduced by the Play Store and App Store. So how I can believe on the Play Store and App Store also? So now people were there which were supporting the PUBG and TikTok. But rare of the people were opposite to this because they are faced with some of the problems. So what they have done, still there were some voting happened, and still the Google and Play Store are keeping those applications in their Play Stores. Why? Because the votes were giving to the positive sides, much of them. So that's why they cannot remove it from the Google Store or Play Store. But in the regions, for example, in the South Asian countries, in those regions, it was locked in the Play Store. So now there are these problems. Look, no one was taking care of this. This application will get my data. How this is happening? For example, whenever you guys are downloading the TikTok, right? Whenever you're creating your account, you're installing or opening the account, there are permission which is asked by the application. For example, TikTok want to access your microphone. What you are clicking? Do you click on allow or do not allow? I'm sure most of you guys are clicking on allow, allow, allow. You are not even reading the message. Why? Laziness. I'm not reading the message. I'm just saying allow. If I click on do not allow, maybe it will not work. That's what you guys are thinking, most of you. Not all of you, most of you. So whenever you are giving permission to access your microphone, access your contacts, access your location, and access your gallery. Whenever you're giving access to the gallery, it means you have given the open phone of yours to someone who you don't know it at all. That person anytime can access to your data. Anytime they can go to your photos, images, screenshots. What is the problem? Before the question was asked, if I'm using another methodology of saving the passwords, an opinion come in my mind that my friend will be thinking of saving my passwords in notes or getting the screenshot of my password. What if the owner of this application is having access to your screenshots and you have clearly written your username and password? He's just getting your credentials, logging into your account, and tomorrow you are complaining. You are saying that, oh, Gmail is insecure. Why? Because my account was hacked. Brother, sister, your account was not hacked. You have provided your information credential to the others. That is not being guaranteed by the owner of the application, right? So now these are the points. These are some unexceptional risks that should be accepted. That is why we should be precautiously using all these applications, limiting their permissions. Why TikTok want to access my location? Why? Is it so much important that I'm clicking a video or picture and my location should be clear there? Okay, but it's important, then think about the negative point. What if they are having a complete track of me that where I'm moving and where am I? Right, so think about the risks, and then I'm sure you guys will limit all those access for the different applications. I hope your question is answered, my brother.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, we don't have time, so if it's all over.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, guys. Again, I'm focusing on this point, and I'm sure we all are connected to WhatsApp. You guys can connect with me to other channels also. I know there will be so many questions going on in your mind, and I have told you this is a world of technology which is improving minute by minute. There will be, for God, with so many challenges that you guys are facing. Feel free to communicate with me, be in touch with me, and together we will find a solution to get out of all those risks. Thank you so much again, and thank you so much for the conductor of sessions I really fully appreciate all your supports and efforts that you guys have provided. So thank you so much. I just hope this was an essential session for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the insightful session. So indeed, today's session was really beneficial. It shows that cybersecurity is not just a technical issue. Of course, it's a fundamental aspects of protecting our digital identity and also financial security and personal data. So we are, whether we are individuals, businesses, or educators, we all have a role to play in keeping our digital world safe.
Exactly.
So a huge thanks again to Mr. Nasrarullah Zarif for sharing his expertise, and to all of you, dear participants, for being part of this virtual conversation. Stay tuned for more on Women Ascension. We will have more webinars on cybersecurity, and also I'll share the LinkedIn account of Mr. Zarif on WhatsApp, so you guys can contact him. And also, guys, if you have any questions, you can just go with other apps because we don't have time anymore. So thank you everyone for being here. See you next time and stay safe online.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz. Bye-bye.